Hello, ladies and gentle geese. I rolled a natural one, which means I guess I'll die, as per my shirt. But we have something D&D related today. Kind of. It's a bundle box. I almost said booster box like an idiot. I got this off Video Planet. I decided to walk into town, which was a terrible idea, because I wanted to have a walk. And also I was hungry. Don't worry about it. Mostly for a walk and also to spy on the Commonwealth Games, because interesting. Anyway, I have a bundle, and this was on offer. It was at 25 quid, was 43, so that's a pretty big saving. Even though the boosters were like, well, there were no boosters for this set actually in Forbidden Planet, but if they were, they would have been like 3 quid, which still this would have been cheaper because 10 boosters would have been 30. Anyway. I've wanted to get some stuff from this set for a while, and because it has a nice promo, which I actually really wanted this promo, because of a deck that we'll probably show in the future that uses treasure. Turns out treasure chest, pretty broken-ass card. You can go infinite with it if you use, the imprint thing that allows you to make a copy of any artifact. Because if you have something that, for example, untaps it, right, you can untap it, use some of the treasure tokens provided you've got treasure tokens, which you normally will. That's the highest chance of things you can get from this card. I'll show you in a minute. And then you can use those tokens to make another treasure chest, sack that treasure chest, do it again, etc. It does help if you have Anointed Processions in play. Okay, Anointed Procession, copy the Anointed Procession, copy the Anointed Procession, etc., etc. If you make a token copy of Anointed Procession, which I did once, then you're just gonna win. You make a bunch of treasure tokens, sack them, just keep doing stuff with thingy. I think you can also use Clock of Omens to tap the treasure tokens without sacking them to untap the thing that makes your treasure chests. That's the whole thing. It's really awesome. Anyway, let's get into this. So we have a promo, 10 boosters, a nice card box. I do like the fat pack boxes. The only reason I don't call them fat packs anymore is because the word fat in it, I'm pretty sure. A bunch of lands, including some foils, which is pretty fucking cool. 3 oversized dungeon cards. Actually quite useful, because there's a lot of Explore Dungeon effects in this set. And I think there was a few in the Commander Legends one as well. And a dice, which isn't a spin down, as I can see. Real close. You see how on the other side you got the 13 and then the 19 and the 16? Yeah, ordinarily it'd be like 19, 18, 17. Which that says to me that this is not designed to be a spin down. Probably because it's a D&D set and people are like, yeah, people are going to want to use the D&D dice for D&D. And spin downs are kind of cheating, because of the way they're done. You can roll them in a particular way, which means you can try and... skilled dice rollers, as in, like, gamblers, essentially, people go to Vegas and stuff. You could probably get a specific number every time, if you practiced enough. Anyway, we do get a box. Yeah, always kind of useful. I mean, I was using this the other day at Geek Retreat, so I know none of these now. Yes, it's just cardboard, but hey, sustainable packaging, am I right? Because otherwise this would be like empty space. We have... Ooh! They have like a postery thing with Xanathar on it. Which is pretty cool. And embark on a quest. And, discover totally free, MTGstory.com. Oh, cool! I might actually have to look at that. D&D campaign. Wait, a whole fucking campaign? Wait, hang on. I might have to look at this before I use this as a poster. But speaking of possible posters, if I gently undo this... Oh my... Wait, no! This is actually... I think this is actually supposed to look like a DM screen. Oh my... God, that is really cool! But I might use that as a poster because I do have my very fancy DM screen. That's really cool! Add that to the poster collection. Damn. It's on the floor for now. Don't worry, my floor is relatively clean. Allergies, sorry. So we have here our oversized cards. I was wondering how they're going to fit them in the box. They didn't put them in the box at all, I guess. Probably shouldn't have opened it, but oh well. So we have the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, Lost Mine, and Tomb of Annihilation. There is another one which was printed in, which was done for the Commander Legends one, which was the Undercity, and there are certain cards that specifically care about the Undercity in particular. But these are the main three, and as far as I'm aware, X-Mage, they haven't done the Undercity or any other dungeons yet, so that's what we got for now. And having them oversized means you can actually fucking read them. So I will actually be keeping these kind of on my desk as reference points for when I'm playing X-Mage, because otherwise you have to open up the command zone and take a look at this like long blurb thing. Here you can actually have a look at, okay, that goes to there, I can pick that, I pick that. That's what they do as a quick reference guide. Which is kind of the point of these tokens, but on a bigger token, easier to do! This is the box. Oh my god, it looks really nice. There's like a prismatic dragon scale effect on it. I may wind up using this for some D&D stuff, actually, rather than Magic. So we've got quick play guide stuff. I always keep these as tokens for, like, or possibly, like, stuff I can maybe make altars out of in the future, just because they use the same kind of core as their normal cards. Which means you can just print over, like, another bit of paper on the top or something to make altars out of them. Possibly. Or I just have a problem with hoarding. That's our promo treasure chest. So you pay 4 and sack it. If you roll a 1, you just take damage. But 2 into 9, gain 100 treasure tokens, 5. 10 to 19, you gain life and draw cards, and then 20, you could just search for a card and spell through put into play. But honestly, while it costs 7 mana to do all of that, with Anointed Possession in play and the other card, the one that creates copies of things, every time you make a copy using this card with Anointed Possession in play, you'll make at least 2, depending on how many Anointed Possessions you have in play. And then, if you get the effect off the treasure tokens, you'll make 10, rather than, at minimum, rather than 5. So with just 2 Anointed Possessions in play, you can make 20 treasure off of one of these, which just spirals out of control very quickly. Yeah, I do wonder if they actually give us a treasure token, though, to go with this. But I should probably find one in one of these packs, to be fair. Obviously, in the past video, I did pick up some treasure tokens, which I think some of them might have been from this set. Hang on. I may have damaged one of the cards, so I'll just get into this fucking thing, but oh well. So yeah, foil treasure chest, pretty cool. We have foil planes. 2, 3, 4. Oh, we have one of each art as a foil. Okay, that's cool. So we have, I think Icewind Dale, or something related to Icewind Dale. I'm not sure what that's supposed to represent. Or that. That feels like it's something in particular. Island. Possibly like the Underdark. Another foil island. This might have something to do with Ghosts of Saltmarsh? Oh, Waterdeep Harbour! My apologies, it does actually fucking say. So that's Waterdeep Harbour. The Storm King's Thunder, because it's to do with the Council of the Storm King. The Underdark. The Mary of Madmen, not sure where that is. That might... Is that not to do with, Moldova, or whatever the fuck Strahd's from? Baldur's Gate. Where are all the rats? Some sort of ruins. That might be to do with the, Sunless Citadel? Hostile Ruin. And then it says about Drows, it's probably some Underdark thing. To do with Mind Flayer, probably. Hundelstone. spine of the world. I'm not sure where that is. Isn't that to do with like Tarrasque or something? Just a generic mountain, I guess. Another sort of dwarven ruin thing. Some sort of elven city. Neverwinter Woods. Another Underdark thing. Some elven city thing. And a bunch. And the same again, but it's non-foil, which is pretty cool. And if you consider, like, the foils are probably, like, 50p to a pound each. That's most of your value in foil lands, honestly. I could be talking about my ass here. Here we go. Before we get into the packs, here's the dice, which isn't a spin down. Actually, really nice. And it's quite big. It's bigger than you usually get, I think, from a magic dice. And it of course has the set symbol on it. And that's really nice. It might actually be one of my favorite dice now. It's kind of light for its size too, and it has a good roll to it. That may now become my pride of place dice for things like this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Definitely 10 boosters. And because it's a bundle, I doubt these packs have been weighed. I mean, it was Food and Planet, so I don't think they've been weighed anyway. That's our sort of artwork on the front. Is that Drizzt? Anyway, let's get this open. Have some, from a perspective of both a Magic player and a D&D player, let's have a look at what this set is like. Even though I'm like, what, a year out of date with this, which is why they were so cheap. So we have Herald of Hadar, aka the Great Wizard Hadar. So this person rolls a d20. You can make each opponent lose a life, and you create 2 treasure tokens on a 20. There is a whole mechanic to do with dice rolling, which is pretty cool. Devoted Paladin, who is an Orc. Orc Knight, everybody, hey! And I think Orcs are quite a rare creature type, right? Or were. Like, I think they were very much only classic magic, and usually in red. So to see white Orcs, pretty good, because that means you can kind of maybe make Orc tribal now. I might try that. Charmed Sleep, which I think is a reprint from Throne of Eldraine. Faraday's Fireball. Fireball! Roll deals 5 axe. So it's Lava Axe, but better. And it can also do damage to players. So we'll always deal 2 to each. Oh, so yeah. So if you roll over 10, you don't damage yourself, which I think might be a reference to the wizard thing where you can select an amount of people equal to like the spell's level or something to not be hit by an AoE spell. With the evocation, we have Hill Giant Herd Gorger, who is about to eat a sheep. You find a Cursed Idol, a Venture into the Dungeon card mostly, but also, so it is, what is it? Is it like Disenchant or something? But better. It's just better at Disenchant, because it's more modal. They turn Disenchant into a charm, basically, by adding an extra mode to it. So you can either destroy an artifact, or an enchantment, or create a treasure token and venture into the dungeon. Which seems to be the better of the 3 effects. Because venture into the dungeon does kind of more. So later on in the dungeons, it does more than what a 1 mana spell would do. And you create a treasure token, which is in a way better than just getting 1 mana back. Or paying 1 less mana or something. Because you can then base it on a green into a mana of any color. Mana fixing for free. Collecting skeletons, which adventures into the dungeon. It dies. With Bullet, classic D&D monster, who is... I don't care what people say, Bullets are adorable and need to be petted. Lots of petting. The enemy instant creature died this turn for +1/+1 counter on it. That's pretty good, actually. Hoarding Ogre. Hey, guess what? It makes treasure tokens. Blink Dog. It blinks. It phases out, technically. It's a 1/1 double strike. It's not great, but it's not terrible. We have Tiger Tribe Hunter. It attacks to attack power 6 or as combat, makes sacrifice a creature. When you do, it deals damage to the sacrifice creature's power target creature. There are a few things in this that have tactics, which is specifically for 6 or higher power, which isn't difficult to achieve, honestly. And we have Dungeon Crawler. Whenever you complete a dungeon, move time to go to your hand. This is just a worse reassembling skeleton, basically, because reassembling skeleton procs more often. We have Delina Wild Mage for a rare, and Burning Hands for a foil. I'm not sure if you guaranteed foils these days or what. But deal damage to target player, creature opponent. If that opponent was green, deal 6 damage instead. That's actually pretty damn good, to be fair. And we got a forest, which will go with the others. And a treasure. So you do have to tap it to sack it and add mana of any color. But it's still treated as an artifact, so you can tap them to untap something. With Clock of Omens. So, Booster 2. Sorry, I am using my teeth for this. Paladin Shield. It actually attaches to something immediately, which is pretty good. But it only gives it +0, +2. I mean, a shield wouldn't do more than that, I guess, but still. Soul Knife Spy. It's an elf rogue. It deals damage to a player, draw a card. That's kind of average. Dueling Rapier. And NTBs attached. So that's just basically Paladin Shield, but in red. And it's an attacking thing. It has a quick 4, which is slightly more, but it costs 1 less, which is on flavor for red. We have Circle of Moon Druid. Moon Druids are fucking broken, and they're fucking cool. As long as your turn is a bear. With Parental. So basically, it changes its creature type, and its attack and defense flips. It's cool. It's pretty flavorful. It's not good, but it's flavorful. I mean, I guess you could technically run this in Bear Tribal if you needed more bears. Another Herald Hadar. You come to a river. Hey, look, it's another charm. There's a lot of would-be charms in this set. You can either unsummon something for 1 more than it would normally cost, or target creature gets +1/+0 and you can't block this turn. So it's slightly higher cost than what you would want to pay for either of those effects, but you get to pick. We have a showcase of a Null Hunter in the old-fashioned style frame, which is pretty cool. Whenever it attacks, so as pack tactics, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Actually pretty good. So I'll put showcase stuff to one side. And I've Neverwinter Dryad, which you sack it to basic 4 with no actual. They're not bad. Good for landfall decks. We have Silver Raven, which at one point I misread as Sliver Raven. When it's purple, scroll up. So this is a magic item in D&D, which is pretty good. I may put this in my birds deck because it's a bird! And we like birds. Particularly geese. Not a goose, but it will be a goose one day. So I put this to one side with the other stuff. We have Wandering Troubadour, who is a dragon bard. Hey look! Fucking cheaper dragons! At the beginning of your end step, you land enter your battlefield during your close time, mention the dungeon. Slow landfall! Okay. This is like the elf in War of the Spark that has, when it landed in battlefield control, proliferate. Why doesn't it say landfall? Because that's a landfall effect! Anyway, we have Wild Shape. Choose one. On your turn, target control has that base power and toughness. It becomes that creature and has the ability. So you either become a turtle with hexproof. Do turtles generally have hexproof? 1 5-star reach or 3 through elf trample. Pretty flavorful. Honestly, quite funny. It does only target into control though, so you can't do Oko Tribal, aka turn everything into different things. If you meet at a tavern, very classic trope, you may either look at the top 5 cards of your library and reveal any number of creatures in your hand. So you can add creatures to your hand, or you can give your creatures +2/+2 on your turn. Not bad. And we have Fighter class, which is actually pretty cool. Rare. So you can level it up for mana. But when it's ETBs, you search an equipment. Actually pretty good. I might actually run this in my Nahiri Artifacts deck, if I get a spare. Equips abilities you activate cost you less. Actually pretty fucking good in a Nahiri deck. Oh, it's like Stoneforge Mystic, except it's not Stoneforge Mystic! Let's get Stoneforge Mystic, banded, modern. And for 5 mana, you can level 3. Whenever you control attacks, it's one target creature blocks its combat able. Ooh, I know what deck this works in! Except it's white, which means I can't run it. There is a red-green deck that I have done in the past, called Domino's Chicken Tika, which uses Tika Dragon, which has Rampage. And Rampage says, whenever a creature blocks it, okay, that creature, aka Tika Dragon, gets +2/+2. Rampage is funny. Rampage is even more funny if you force your opponent to block things. Especially if all the things you're supposed to block with are like 1/1s or 2/2s. You're just killing them then, it's just a kill spell. It's very funny. And oh, we have a foil mountain. Mountain! Everyone loves a mountain! So I'll put that sort of with the foil on. Actually, no, I'll put it with the foil rares. Foil mountains, well, foil lands are pretty good. And we actually have a small version of the Dungeon and Map page, so pretty good. So we're 2 boosters in and I'm already doing well. I mean, I don't think this stuff is valuable, but it's valuable to me, and that's what matters. We have Minimus Containment, which is a reference to Imprison. Arcane Investigator. Hey, it makes clues. No, it doesn't. Search the room for 6 mana. You may either draw a card. Wait. Draw a card on a creature, like just continuously. Yes, it costs 6 mana, but if you're running this in a deck, the 6 mana doesn't fucking matter. And then you just play Thassa's Oracle. This is probably really good in Pauper. At the top 2 cards of your library, put one in the hand with more in order. Interesting. We have Earth Cult Elemental. What's that a reference to? Siege Monster. Each player sacrifices a permanent. Each opponent sacrifices a permanent. Oh boy, that's actually pretty fucking scary. That's pretty good for a common, actually. Sylvan Shepherd. When it attacks, roll a 20, either gain 1, 2, or 5 life. Again, it's just roll dice things. And also, isn't all that bad in a life gain matters deck. It's not great, but it's not that bad. Deadly Dispute. You sacrifice an armor creature and draw 2 cards and create a treasure. Again, if you're sacking the treasure to do that, I mean, why would you? Or something that benefits you to sack it. Hey, guess what? You're just plussing them. Priest of Ancient Law. Hey, it's a dwarf. It's the battlefield. You mean gain 1 life and draw a card. Not bad. It's not very powerful, but it's a cantrip on a creature. So you see a grand approach. Distract the guard type of creature or hide her during control against activity return. Interesting. Spare Dagger. Whenever it attacks, you protect from sacrifice. It's pretty terrible. Although it doesn't do damage to any target, that could be a kill spell in the right situation. We have Direwolf Prowler. +2/+2 against hand of turn, every once each turn. This is pretty bad. You find the villain's lair. You may either counter a spell, so it's a counter spell because it costs 3. Not the counter spell that costs 2, but it's about average for a counter spell that isn't counter spell. Or you may draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. Not bad, honestly. This is probably one of the better effects in common of these like modal things. And we have Gretchen Titchwallow. Halfling Druid. Again, probably a character from somewhere in D&D. Draw a card and put a land card in the hand of back. Oh boy, that is really fucking good. Actually, that's a okay, she's a 0/4. But in decks where land matters, really good. Like, you could, there's probably a combo with that somehow, right? We have Reaper's Talisman. Whenever equipped with your attacks with Death Touch. That is scary. Whenever a creature attacks alone, depending on the player loses 2 enemies in life. There's not that many effects I know that give creatures death touch. And if you give that to, say, something like a creature with Rampage, for example, all of a sudden you only have to deal 1 damage to a creature to kill it. Your entire board is dead. Or to an Eldrazi, you want to be a cunt. Like, you could block it, I don't care. I mean, then again, it's an Eldrazi going to kill it anyway. Or something that has Indestructible. And then we have another legend. We have Thelasara, Moon Dancer, who isn't a Moonkin. When you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on her, and destroy one. This is going straight into my Life Gain Matters deck. This is just a better Ajani's Pridemate. I'm not even kidding. So yeah, you get a +1/+1 counter. Which, hey, it's a mandatory one. We didn't fucking learn from Ajani's Pridemate. And then you scry 1. Pretty fucking good. You get an extra effect off of your Ajani's Pridemate, basically. And it's also a 5th Ajani's Pridemate. Aelistre teaches us that we are not bound by the state of our birth. We may all find beauty in life if we have the courage to seek them. And we have Hive of the Eye Tyrant, which did get Secret Lair from, which is really fucking cool. This is one of those lands. It's like a cycle of turning into creatures' lands. It's pretty cool. Each one turns into something different, or does something different for that creature type. This one's to do with Beholders, this one for dragons, etc. And if you control 2 or more of the lands that enter the battlefield tapped. And a mountain! And Lost Mine of Fandelver. Which is also a skeleton on the back. Spooky, scary skeletons. Send shivers down your spine. I'm sorry, it just works, okay? We have Shocking Grasp, which is a cantrip. And is actually a cantrip. Because it draws you a card. We have Price of Loyalty. Then control the creature. On the creature's haste. If mana from a treasure was spent to cast, it could be a plus 2 in your turn. So this is active treason, but technically better, since it can make things big if you use a treasure for it, which isn't necessarily a downside. It's more of a, hey, if you did this, great. We have Sealed Herbalist, Scaled Herbalist, sorry. We put a land from your hand of the battlefield. Not a great card, there are other things that do this, but again, in a landfall deck, this isn't too bad. But I think you'd probably prefer to put into play things that have landfall triggers. With Fate's Reversal, jump to 1 target your card from your grave to your hand, venture in the dungeon. So this is Return, or something similar to that, for 1 extra mana. Again, standard set, so. And then you venture into the dungeon, which means you get an extra effect. Planar Ally, whenever it attacks you, you end of the dungeon, and also, hey, guess what? It's a fucking spell creature. We have a Showcase, we have an Owlbear, who looks absolutely adorable in his 2nd edition style art. And as ETBs, you draw a card. It's a 4/4 for 5, Trample. It is a bird, but it's green, which means I can't play it. And it also doesn't have flying. It's a bird. I don't know if owlbears actually have a fly speed, though, to be fair, so they might be excused on that front. But again, it's just like, can we have more? Can we have a commander, please? For birds, that is more than 3 colours. A decent 4 or 5 colour for a commander. I would be happy with one that is every colour except black. Because then I could run Gilded Goose and Owlbear. Intellect Devourer, or the Devour Intellect. Turn opponent discards a card. Hey, guess what? It's not quite Thoughtseize. The mana spent from a treasure, spent to cast this spell, instead that player reveals their hand, you choose an online card for it. So this is just Thoughtseize if you have treasure. We have Baleful Beholder. Hey, it's a Beholder. You can make opponents get rid of enchantments. Creature draw game menace. Again, I have a problem with this. Why is it not flying? Beholders can fly. In Vampire Spawn, when it's ETBs, each opponent loses 2 life and 2 life. Not great. There are plenty of better vampires. Divine Smite. Phase out of the permanent is black, exile instead. Actually, not bad. And that's a permanent exile. Holy shit. Pretty good. And you can temporarily exile something, or permanently do it. Goblin Morningstar. I'm not sure if that's a reference to something in particular, like a magic item. Also, that sleeping rat is adorable. Look at him! That tiny rat! Change quickly plus 3 has trample, not bad. Equip 1 in a red. Oh, it's an equips cost with a fucking color. In ETBs, roll a d20. 1 to 9 create 1 goblin. And then if it's 10 to 20, you equip that to the goblin. Not bad, honestly. With White Dragon. We have one of the dragons! This is one I wanted, actually. I want to get the dragons. It's not a Blue Eyes White Dragon, though. And for some reason, nobody has yet done an altar of this, which is just Blue Eyes White Dragon. I may have to do that myself at this point. But it's White Dragon. And we have Meteor Swarm, which is, hey, it's that level 9 spell. Deals 8 damage divided as you choose amongst X target creatures and or planeswalkers. That isn't bad. Sometimes one fireball isn't enough. It's okay, but... oh, we have a foil rare. So you do get a foil every pack, I guess. Varus Silvery Moon Hunter. Reach Ward, because elf, I guess. Whenever you cast a creature or planeswalker spell, venture the dungeon once per turn. Whenever you complete a dungeon, create a wolf. Actually pretty fucking good. And it's a foil, which means it might actually be worth something. And a forest, not that we care about value, but... and dungeon. There's also a goblin on the other side. I'm not a gnome! I'm not a gnome! I'm a goblin! And you've been goblin. So this is... so we're almost halfway now, holy shit. I know, long video, apologies. Now we have Air Cult Elemental, so there's the Air Elemental. I don't know why they just didn't do Air Earth, reprints of them, but they did special things. Which is cool. It returns stuff. It's actually a worse... it's actually slightly worse than Air Elemental, which is annoying. Swarming Goblins. Take a sweat. Makes goblins. Who would have thought? Inspiring Bard. Which gives... that's pretty cool. Shambling Ghast. You need a -1/-1 something, or create treasure. Cool. Dwarful Champion. Which cares about equipments. So it's a 3/1, but can become a 3/3 when equipped. Isn't bad. Charm Sleep. Improvised Weaponry. The art on this, the fucking Viper getting whacked in the face. Which is a reference to the improvised weapon stuff, rules, and also the feat. You're just getting fucking whacked with some sort of idol, which is from something else, I think. That might be a reference to something else. Deals damage to any target, which isn't great for 3 mana, and then create a treasure token. You come to River, feign Death. So on the turn, the target dies, you return to the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. You could just have said, target creature gains Undying. Until end of turn, target creature gains Undying. You didn't have to write all of that, honestly. And also, you need to remember, wizards, your mechanics that exist. We like our keywords. When we want our keywords! I know, it's an OCD thing, I don't care. Veteran Dungeoneer. Eat when ETBs venture into the dungeon. We have Dryad, a very classic enemy creature here. Whenever deals combat to a player, create a Spire token with Menace and Reach. Nice. Prosperous Innkeeper, and ETBs, create a treasure. It's a 1/1 for 2, but whenever the creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. Hey, it's a fucking, it's a fucking impassioned orator in green that also gives you a treasure, which isn't bad. Again, that might go in my life gain deck, because it's a decent, constant life gain trigger, and I run a lot of low-cost things. to use my Soul Warden and stuff with, and this is just basically a Soul Warden for one side. Sorry, Essence Warden for one side. Ray of Frost, it prevents things from attacking, sort of. Another treasure chest! Hey! So that's the other art of the treasure chest. Oh, we didn't get a full this time, so we must have been really lucky before. Is land, and then the treasure token, which is also encouraging you to play Fire Night Magic. See, we were like 4 for 5 on foils. I think it's just they up the chance of getting the foil, so most of the time you'll get one. Armory Veteran, whenever it is equipped, it has Menace. So it's a 2/2 with upside, and it's an Orc in red! Hey! It's like they remember colours exist! The colour identity for things. We have Elterguard Ranger, when ETBs, you create a 2/2 wolf. It's a reference to that one thing where rangers get pets. Horde Robber. I smell a burglar. This is fucking smelled. Whenever it deals damage to a player, create a treasure token. Actually not bad, it's a 1/3 with upside. Dawnguard Cleric. I heard that. No, Dawnbringer, not Dawnguard. I heard there were 4 the Dawnguard. You can either gain 2 life, destroy an enchantment, or exile card from the graveyard. Actually pretty fucking good. Soul Knife Spy again. Swarming Gobos. Dryad again. Plundering Barbarian, which can either destroy an artifact or create treasure. Pretty cool. Again, nice to have modal stuff. And it's also what dwarves I think are a rare creature type. I think they had a few in Kaladesh, but again, they're mostly an older type. There's the other version of Owlbear. For reference, this looks way better, look at it. You find some prisoners. You can either destroy an artifact again, or exile top 3 cards from its library. Until end of turn, you play one of those cards, and you can spend mana to cast it. Pretty cool. Hunter's Mark. Hey, it's a spell, or an ability, actually, if you do the Catcher's thing, which you should. Spell costs 3 to cast if it targets a blue permanent you don't control. Color-based hate in this generation? Where? And also, why blue? Surely it would be 3 less to cast if it targets a creature. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn, then it deals damage to equal its power to target creature or plunderable you don't control. Okay. It also can't be countered, which is pretty good. So this is just blue hate. Finally, Matt Wizards was like, you know, blue's a bit OP. We need to make an anti-blue card. Well, we'll make it green so that blue decks can use it. Blue-green decks can use it. Fuck's sake. Hey, another dragon. We got Black Dragon this time, which has its acid breath. Ooh, we have a showcase version of Varus. So we have a foil and a showcase. It's pretty cool. And we have a foil Arcane Investigator. And a Mountain. And a Fairy Dragon token. Also, people wanting to see Yaris rather than Varus, which just reminds me of the Toyota. We have Find the Path. When an ETBs into the dungeon, Enchanted Land has add 2 blue. Sorry, 2 green. Not bad, but not great either, but it does enter the dungeon. Sepulchre Google. Yep. Oh, you can sack another creature, it gets +2/+2 in a turn if you want to return. Hey, it's a sack outlet. Aristocrats! Or something. They've got Paladin, although it's only 1 per turn, that's probably not that great. Mordecai is Polymorph. Target with a dragon base power and toughness 4/4, gains flying. Hey, look, it's Oko Tribal again, except you probably would target your own creatures with that, I guess. Also, it doesn't lose any abilities. Your purpose may change along with your shape, but you will serve regardless. Turning a dog into a dragon. Unexpected Windfall. Decision of cost to cast. Draw a card. Discard a card. Draw to cast, create 2 treasure. It's like Faithless Looting, but 4 mana and creates 2 treasure. Or 4 treasure if you have at least 1 thingy. Also, I guess this is a Deck of Many Things reference. Ranger's Longbow. I'm guessing that doesn't actually have an effect which allows you to equip it when it comes into play. This is a shitty cycle that doesn't fucking have cohesion, I guess. But it does give things reach, which makes sense. But even then, plus 2+1 against reach, like, why not give it the same ability as the others? Like, it's not that much better than the others. You're ambushed on the road. Send a creature you control to its hand, or give the creature +1/+3. That's not a bad combat trick. Ooh, we have Underdark Basilisk as a showcase. It has Death Touch. That's cute. And probably... Are there many basilisks in Magic? Could that be the first? Hey, a Pegasus. Another Burb. Displacer Beast showcase. We've got 2 in one pack. That's pretty cool. When an ETBs enter the dungeon, 4 mana you can earn a blue turn to its hand. Not bad, actually pretty good. Trickster's Talisman, you can create copies of things. I know that because I have a deco run. Oh my god, a 3rd showcase in one pack, what the fuck? We have Farida, Devil's Chosen, who is a tiefling. Whenever you roll 1 or more dice, it gains Flying Menace over the turn. Depending on the results of 10 of higher draw. What the fuck? That is fucking overpowered. And the Monk class, we have another class. Which has very little to do with monks. People are like, oh, but, each second spell you cast, each turn costs 1 less to cast, that's Flurry of Blows. No, Flurry of Blows is the ability to have Double Strike. What I would have done for its level 1 is, when you attack with 1 or more creatures, target one of them, that creature gets Double Strike. That's Flurry of Blows. Something is attacking more than once. Not, you may cast 2 spells. That's more of a wizard thing. That's more of a sorcerer thing. Like, Quicken Spell or something, or something that make your spells cost less. When it goes level 2, you return up to 1 target on an opponent on his hand. I get that Stunning Strike. That I understand. But then again, I would have done a tap down effect on that. And do that once per turn. You may tap down something that isn't untapping this and control to next upkeep. Because that would make more sense to be stunning, but okay. And then level 3, I mean, okay. Any select card in your library for your own main deck spells, it has many test cards, main spells, and spell turn. That's Timeless Body, which I kind of get, but not really. There's a kind of timelessness to it, I guess. Also, I've completely fiended this up, haven't I? Yep, because I put an uncommon amongst the rare. Don't worry about it. And another lost mine. There's also a skeleton on the other side. Okay, another boosty. So we got 3 showcases in one pack there. I'm not sure if that's normal. But given that 2 of them are uncommon, it's pretty cool. We have Grim Bounty, which is an overcosted murder, but can also target planeswalkers. Create a treasure token, pretty cool. Half-elf monk. Half-elves! Hey, it has Stunning Strike! See, that's what Stunning Strike's supposed to fucking do! Target creature! Fucking hell. Secret Door. Hey, you can venture into the dungeon. Activate as a sorcery. But it's a fucking wall. But it's cool. Faraday's Fireball. Ranger. Zombie Ogre. Did they not do Zombie Ogre before? I guess not. Hey, the insipid creature dies turn. Enter in the dungeon. Cool. On the plus side, Throck no longer thinks he's clever. Xanathar. Mimic! That's pretty cool. Mimic can also do funny things. You copy it. It's a shame that, even though it's a shapeshifter, it doesn't have Changeling, even though it could reasonably have Changeling because it changes into other objects at least. And Mimics could possibly mimic basically anything, potentially even including fucking people, honestly. Goblin Javelineer. Classic leather arm. Actually, this thing's ward, which is weird, but okay, cool. You can also equip with 0, but you can only do once per turn, because I guess it takes time. You hear something on watch, another charm. You either give creature control +1/+1, or deal 5 damage to target that creature. Again, not bad. Oh, another class. This time the Druid class. It cares about lands ETBing. And again, it doesn't say it has landfall, so fuck you wizards, you should say landfall. You may play additional land in each returns. Actually really good for landfall decks. But also has very little to do with being a druid. When it's cast on level 3, target line you control with a creature with haste and creature's counter. You could argue that's like summon elementals or something, but sure. And it also only ever does that once. For 5 mana, it's not that great. It should really do that every turn, the amount of investment you're putting into it. But its 5 mana effect is pretty good. It's that one spell, one enchantment. I can't remember what it's called. Explore or something? Or Exploration. So if you're running Commander deck for, if you're playing a Commander deck with Landfall, you run this. Because this means you can play an additional land, and it doesn't say from your hand, which is important, because of Crucible Abhorrence. So if this and that, you can play 3 lands per turn, aka you Zeus and Orb 3 lands every turn, and put them back into fucking play. And get 3 landfall drops instead of 1. And then with Death Priest of Miracle, which says skeletons, vampires, and zombies you control get +1/+1. Oh, that's nice. Beginning of step, the creature dies this turn, you may play 1 for your skeleton creature token. It's a tiefling, but I fucking like it! I like stuff that likes skeletons and zombies! That might actually go on my zombie tribal deck, because it gives things pluses, and also it makes skeletons, and also, in my deck that cares about, my deck that runs stuff like that, does also care about creatures dying sometimes. Like, tokens will die and stuff like that. And also things like the, open the graves whenever I exile something, create a bat. Bats are just free chump blockers, which means I can pay 1 if I actually have open mana at the end of that turn to just bring out more skeletons, which will then be 2/2s because of this. And then there's something, Deathbound or something that gives skeletons like Menace with Death Touch. Funny. With Purple Worm! Spell costs 2 less to cast, creature died this turn. And it is a big lad. And we have Hobgoblin Bandit Lord. Other Goblin. It's a Goblin Lord, except it's not a Lord! 1 red, it deals damage to the number of goblins and develop and control this turn at any target. Actually, pretty damn good. This is a Lightning Bolt in the right situations. And then we have just a Swamp and a Devil token. I am evil. I don't know why when I am evil Homer. I am evil Homer. I am evil Homer. I am evil Homer. We haven't found any Mythics yet, which is sad. But we have had a foil rare and a showcase rare, so I don't know, maybe I should count myself lucky on that. As long as you complete a dungeon, just gets double strike. 2/3 for 3 with double strike is actually pretty fucking good. Scion of Stygia. ETB, tap. Oh, hey, look, it has stunning, what Stunning Strike is supposed to be. Armory Veteran. Bull Strength. I guess the Barbarian thing. What's supposed to do is trembling and untap it. So this is Giant Growth, but costs 1 more, but also untaps it, and also does it trample. Precipitous Drop. It's a reference to something. When an ETB is entering the dungeon, turn creatures put -2/-2, gets -5/-5 instead, as long as you complete the dungeon. And since it remains in play, as soon as you've met the threshold for that, it changes, right? Which means this could just straight up kill something. Or just hurt something for a while and then kill it. Again, this is a murder, but... well, it's less than a murder, actually. It's actually worse than a murder. But it can be a murder. Which also mentions the dungeon, which is like, this is a weird one! We have Delver's Torch. When it attacks, venture the dungeon. Hey, that's pretty fucking good. We have Manticore, so another, showcase. When it enters ETB, it's destroyed or a creature the opponent controls dealt damage to this turn. Flash Flying 2/1, though. Well, I mean, I guess it's again, a shitty murder, but also is a creature. Sort of. And it's also a Manticore, which there aren't many of, I don't think. We have Spiked Pit Trap. 5 damage to a creature or something. Or 5 damage to create a treasure. There's probably some weird threat you can do with that. Again, using stuff that copies things again. We have Null Hunter. So that's the normal version of it. Kick in the door. You +1/+1 counter on something in red, which isn't that common. Against haste on a turn, can't be blocked by walls this turn. Then this does a lot for 1 mana. This is a really fucking good card for 1 mana. And probably a really good pauper card. Like Barbarian class for first uncommon. Whenever you would roll 1 or more dice, they'd roll that many dice with +1 and ignore the lowest. So this is Rage, right? Because Rage gives you advantage. No, Reckless Rage, because it gives you advantage on a roll. Whenever you roll 1 or more dice for a creature you control, gets +2/+0, gets an immense end of turn. Rage makes it bigger and does things. And then creature control have haste, which is to do with... There's a barbarian thing or something that means you have a higher initiative score, I think. You get like +2 initiative, I think. Could be wrong. You see a pair of goblins. You can either give your creatures +2/+0 on turn, which for 3 mana is actually pretty shit, or create 2 goblin creature tokens. And also there's a quote by Varus in here, which is beautiful. But that's a bad card. Eccentric Apprentice. When an ETB is end of a dungeon, at the end of the combat of your turn, you complete the dungeon with 1 target creature because a bird with power and toughness flying 1/1 and flying going the turn. Not bad. It's Oko Tribal again, but again, it doesn't change its lose all abilities. It's like, what's the fucking point? I would run this in Bird Tribal if it created birds, though. But it doesn't create birds! Why don't you just make birds? If the thing is that it's find familiar, why doesn't it create birds? Oh! We have the boy! It's Drizzt! I thought he was in this set. There he is. And it's the pack art. Double strike. So 5 cost, double strike. 3/3 double strike. When it enters the battlefield, create Gwenhoyvar, a legendary 4/1 cat with trample. Whenever a creature died with a power greater than Drizzt's power, put a number +1/+1 counters on Drizzt equal to the difference. That is pretty fucking good. And also, he's probably really good for Commander, right? Because every time you can recast him. Yeah, you have to command attack, but you recast him and create another cat. So if it dies, you make sure the cat dies first, and then the commander, and then just go, work out commander attacks, another cat, please! And planes. And that also gives you 2 legendaries for the price of 1, which matters for, like, legendary tribal-related stuff, right? There are certain decks that care about how many legendaries you have in play, or how many legendaries you have in ETB, or how many legendaries you cast, etc., etc., etc. So Drizzt is actually pretty good for that strategy. And there's a wolf token for that stuff. Anyway, we have 1 booster to go. Will we pull a mythic? Please let me have a mythic. Yeah, contact other plane. We're still finding new stuff in the common slot. We have Brazen Dwarf. Whenever you roll 1 of my dice, deals 1 damage to your opponent. Not bad, honestly. Spoils the hunt. Target goes +1/+0. Mana from a treasure spell to cast a spell. Then creature deals damage to your opponent. Equal power to target original controls. Not a bit of a weird one. I'm not sure how good that is. Eyes of the Beholder. Target creature gets -11/-11 till end of turn. This is straight up terrible. For 5 mana, 6 mana, why the fuck wouldn't you cast something like Murder instead, or another kill spell that exists in this deck? This is so much ass. Because it's gonna kill most things. But if you're targeting, say, an Eldrazi that can be targeted, it's not even gonna kill them. So if it's over 11, if it's like a 12/12, it's not going to die. You could have casted something like Murder instead. This doesn't even get around hexproof, so there's nothing like that you can do. What situation do you want to -11 something, instead of, just straight up blowing them up? It's a cool looking card. What the fuck is the point? +2 mace, it's just a +2/+2 mace. Celestial Unicorn, whenever you gain luck. The fucking Ajani's Pride! So the Ajani's Pride, mate! We like those. We take those. Intellect Devour Intellect. Rhyme Shield, Frost Giant. Hey, it's a giant. It has Ward. Ward these nuts. Go into a Null Camp. Not a great card. Okay, it can prevent 2 creatures from blocking, or give a creature a big boost. Hey, look, it's Evolving Wilds. We take those. Actually, a nice Evolving Wilds, too. Barrett Mind Sorcerer. Hey, it's not illicit. When it ETBs, choose the sorcerer graveyard, roll d20. You either put it on your library or put it in your hand. So this is just a worse Archaeomancer. But it is an Archaeomancer, which means you could do stupid things with it. Then we have Sudden Insight. Draw a card for each different mana value among non-calling cards in your graveyard. Interesting! Well, you draw from the deck of many things capable of explicitly flash your understanding, especially flex on your repeat. I forget which card from the deck that is representing. But also, that seems really fucking good. We have Temple of Dragon Queen, which is another one that got a secret Lair version, which is pretty cool. ETBs, you may reveal a dragon from your hand. ETBs, tap unless you reveal the dragon this way when you control the dragon. When ETBs, choose a color. And on mana, choose a color. Again, it's like a weird land. We have one of the pieces of Vecna as our rare. At the beginning of your turn, equip creature or creature you draw named Vecna is +X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. Which is cool. Equip, pay 1 life for each card in your hand. That's scary. For 2. We also didn't get any Mythics, so that was kind of shit. Where's my Mythics, wizards? Shouldn't I at least get 1 Mythic and 10 boosters? 1 fucking Mythic? You know, like Old Norbone or something? No. And an island for ending. That appears to be everything. So, sorry this video was nearly an hour, but I was looking through every card because I like D&D, okay? This is basically my set review. This thing cost me 25 quid, I'm going to milk this video for as much as possible. So, I'll be looking at the values later to see how well I did. I might even put it in the comments below. Comment below what you thought was the best pull from this video, either in terms of power level or value. And, let me know what you thought of the set too, and what you would like me to do in the future. In the links below, there should be a link to on the channel, or in the video description. At my Amazon list, I've added a bunch of things in there, including some old fatback boxes that I might want to review at some point, or at least open up. If you'd like to support the channel, that's how you could do that. You know, again, you don't have to, but it would be nice. If you want to see more videos, and more frequent videos, I could do with your help. I don't earn a huge amount, so stuff like this doesn't happen very often. The only reason I got this, like I say, was because it was cheap, and I figured I might be able to make some of my money back from it, either in terms of cards that I would play, or stuff that I could actually sell. I will admit, the spin down and the box kind of equate for, like, at least in my opinion, to me, like a £5 of the value. So, and I guess the oversized would probably have another 30 pence, 40 up, 50 up. I'd say like even a quid of value out of that, and the treasure chest probably another quid's value. So like what? The set doesn't owe me like a huge amount, I guess. And I have got some things that I would definitely use out of this, and this is why I do stuff like this from time to time. Because, yeah, you could buy singles, Professor, I get that, but, not everybody has, like, an encyclopedic knowledge of every single card in Magic. Sometimes you have to, like, see something random and be like, oh, pretty fucking useful, I'll get that. Like, yes, I could have bought these in like, a bulk box or something, some of these, but the chance of me actually spotting them or paying attention to them long enough is not that high. But anyway, I digress. Thank you guys for watching. If you comment, like, subscribe, don't forget to support the channel if you're able to. And I will see you guys in the next video. I'll be doing a lot of deck showcase in the future, or I already have done so. I don't know! I don't have a fucking schedule for this shit. Anyway, bye-bye for now, people. Thank you guys once again for watching.